Are you an introvert? And have you ever felt like being an introvert has been holding you back from making a real difference in the world? What if I told you that your quiet nature that you have is actually your superpower for creating some real meaningful change? In fact, in the years that I've gone to conferences and been with speakers who are on stage, thought leaders, influencers, done comedy for years and been able to meet some big celebrity names, I was shocked at how many of them I found out are not extroverted, but are extremely introverted. And they're able to take those things and still find their gifts and superpowers and make greater impacts in the world. So can you imagine using your introverted strengths to build deeper connections with other people and to have a greater impact than maybe you ever thought was possible? If so, you're going to want to stick around. Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and chief giver over at the GIVER Method. Today, we're going to dive into this topic that I like talking a lot about. I have many close people to me that are introverts, my wife, my brother-in-law, things like that. And I always enjoy looking at the two sides of the coin of an introvert versus an extrovert. So we're going to look at how an introvert could adapt the GIVER Method and what we teach in the GIVER Method to still create impact, form deeper connections, and share their gifts in a way that still feels authentic to them. But before we dive in, if you're new here, once again, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, ring the bell for notifications, like this video, comment along the way, share your thoughts, of course, share it with someone who may need it. It's always a good thing to do. We don't want you to miss out on any of the content that we have to help people to unlock their potential and become a true giver and step into who it is that you're meant to be. Now, I keep using this term giver, and I'll let you know what that is in case you didn't know. GIVER's an acronym where we're helping people to identify their gifts and superpowers so that they then can, with an I, we can find the right people to influence and make an impact on and be intentional with. The V is for creating value for other people in a way that's so clear, so vivid, and we do it in a way that we don't expect anything in return. And then, of course, the E is all about the engagements, the discussions, interactions you have with others, and how do we make them as effective and eager as possible. And the outcome is that you receive one thing which we call relationship riches, which is those deeper, more meaningful connections, which allows you to make a greater impact. It allows you to step into who it is that you are meant to be. And I've found that people who develop their gifts and superpowers and give them in this sort of a way, that they're inviting the universe to pay them back. And the universe does pay them back. Maybe not every time, but I've seen it time and time again. And so I like to help people to identify those gifts, superpowers, make that greater impact, have those deeper connections, and help them to invite the universe to pay them back. That's what the GIVER Method's about. You can check us out at thegivermethod.com for all sorts of additional details. I'll put some links in the description around that. Now, as we go through these things, I'm going to cover some different topics or principles or whatever you want to refer to them as. And as I do, I'm going to probably cover a bit about it, maybe related to something personal. And then for every one of them, I'm going to give you an action item. Now, you're going to want to get out a piece of paper or open up a note and make sure that you write down the thoughts you have around these action items, because it is not about what you do while watching this video. It's about what you do after and the action you take to start making a change. And so these things are things you could do today, this week, this month, and you'll start seeing that change, especially for the introverts out there and how they can make that greater impact. So let's dive into it. Let's explore how, as introverts, you can leverage your unique strengths within this idea of the GIVER Method and make a really strong and powerful impact in your sphere of influence. So the first one that I want to cover, first principle, is all about using your introverted tendency for deep reflection to uncover what your unique gifts and superpowers are. As an introvert, you have this natural ability to look inward and analyze your own thoughts and experiences. Introverts, they just have this natural inclination to do a lot of self-reflection. Making them especially adept at identifying the unique gifts that they have through that type of introspection and review and reflection of where they've been. Now, while others may go seek external validation or feedback, which I recommend for a lot of people, going out to other individuals that they know and asking them to help them with that. A lot of people will do that to uncover their strengths, but introverts often find clarity when they're looking inward. And that deep reflection allows you to analyze moments when you felt deeply engaged, you felt like you were in a state of flow. Like, those are going to often be clues towards what your unique gifts could be. So instead of relying solely on external feedback, take that time for quiet introspection, review, whatever that may look like for you, and set aside time regularly to journal and meditate in this sort of a reflective manner. Think about those activities, those moments where you felt the best, where you lost track of time, you felt the most accomplished for. What are those skills or attributes that you were using? What do people come to you for and ask you for help on? These are all going to point towards what that idea may be. Now, whether it's problem solving or empathizing with someone or creating something meaningful, whatever that could be, like, these moments hold a key to understanding your hidden superpowers. And by embracing this sort of a reflection process, you can identify what your core strengths are that guide you on your path of being a giver. Now, this deep reflection, it's going to reveal gifts that you might have overlooked over time as well. And so the action item here is going to be to set aside 15 minutes each day this week. Write down the activities that you just felt the most energized in, that you were able to utilize some sort of a skill that came naturally to you. And by the end of the week, if you review through it, you will have a much clearer picture of what your unique gifts are. So moving on to number 2, the second principle focuses on how an introvert can exert influence through thoughtful written communication. So while extroverts might thrive on, let's say, public speaking or being, in that sort of a realm, introverts may not always seek out those type of opportunities. But that doesn't mean that you can't be influential. In fact, many introverts excel in leadership, particularly if they're really good at written communication. Like, writing allows you to craft and refine your message in a way that speaking often doesn't. It also offers the time and space needed to fully explore what the ideas are before sharing them with the world, and considering how your influence over others can make that sort of an impact. So by sharing your insights, you can do this through things like I chose to write a book. Not every person has to write a book, but you could do it through blogs or articles or books or whatever that may be. I mean, there's all sorts of options that could be out there. Thought leadership can be as simple as offering valuable advice in a social post or creating an in-depth newsletter that showcases your expertise. One of my favorite ways someone described it to once, I read reading their book, and they said that you may not think of yourself as a thought leader or an expert because you're not the number one person at that thing. But if you know more about that thing than I do, and you could teach me something about it, then you are a thought leader. You are an expert to me. And so remember that you've got this inside of you that you could go and share. This is going to allow you to make so much more of a meaningful impact without the pressure of being front and center. Your deep thinking and reflective nature, it can turn into a very influential voice in whatever niche you decide to be in, where your insights resonate deeply with those who come across them. In my own journey, I found that writing about the GIVER method allowed me to reach and influence far more people than if I was just trying to teach people one-on-one or just trying to do some social content around it. It gave me time to really formulate my thoughts and present them in as clear of a way as possible and in a really impactful way. So the action item here is going to be to choose a topic that you're knowledgeable about, that you've got skills on, expertise, and write something about it. Write a letter, write an article, write a blog. There's all sorts of things you could write. A book, who knows? Share it with somebody. Share it through social media, share it with someone you know, and notice how this form of influence feels in comparison to more extroverted methods that there could be. Our third principle, it's all about leveraging an introvert's strength for deep and meaningful one-on-one interactions. Now, while large groups settings, I know from a lot of the introverts I know, they are extremely draining on you. One of the greatest strengths of introverts is their ability to form deep and meaningful connections in more of a one-on-one setting. Well, introverts might feel drained by those groups. They tend to really thrive when it's personal and focused conversations where they have that sort of a connection. This is where magic of things like creating vivid value comes into play for people. Instead of trying to deliver value to a large forum, focus on creating an intimate one-on-one or small group interaction where your gift of attentive listening or the thoughtful thing you have, the advice you have, can shine. Whether it's mentoring someone or having a cup of coffee with a colleague or offering personal guidance in your area of expertise, these moments allow you to provide value that is so rich and meaningful that people need. The depth of connection you bring to these sort of interactions makes a very lasting impact, often deeper than you realize than if you were doing, especially if you're doing a large format presentation, you're going to make way deeper impact. Now, I found that some of my most impactful moments as a giver have been when I'm actually in these one-to-one interactions. Like, we can dive deeper into the connection and the value exchange and it allows it to be that much more powerful of what we're trying to do. So the action item here is going to be to reach out to someone in your friends, family, your network, whatever, colleague, and offer a one-on-one session to help them with a challenge that they might be facing. And find the ways that you can use your gifts to provide deeper, more meaningful support to them. The fourth principle we're going to go into is all about making a significant impact behind the scenes. There are so many amazing introverts that do amazing things behind the scenes and keep this world moving. Introverts often feel more comfortable working behind the scenes, where they could focus on creating more meaningful change without needing to be in the spotlight. This could be a powerful form of impact, as thoughtful or strategic work done quietly can drive enormous value for organizations, for communities, for families. Think about how you can contribute in a more behind-the-scenes capacity. Now, that could be through project management, strategic planning, data analysis, content creation, focusing your efforts on helping others in your family, your friends, while aligning with your introverted strengths. Introverts really do have this ability to create impact without seeking attention, which makes your work even more influential and appreciated by those who benefit from it. In my own work, I've seen introverts that revolutionize entire systems through their behind-the-scenes efforts. Their ability to pay attention to detail, to see the bigger picture, often leads to innovation that can be way more visible to team members that some team members might miss. I've got admin on my team who, if we thrust her into the spotlight, she'd probably hate it. But she keeps this place running. We call her the glue. She keeps this company running and everything moving forward. And so an action item here is going to be to identify, we'll say a cause, an organization, a group that you can reach out to and offer your skills for maybe a behind-the-scenes project. Your impact might be quieter, but it might be just as powerful as others. The fifth principle is going to be focused on how introverts can build community and create an impact using digital platforms. So today's digital world, I've done a lot of videos where I hit on social media, I hit on the digital world. Like, introverts can harness this power of an online platform to build a community and create influence, all from the comfort of your own space. Virtual spaces offer a way for any introvert to engage meaningfully with others without energy drain of that constant in-person interaction. Consider how you can build an online community and share your gifts digitally. This involves, it could be a blog, an online course, leading some sort of niche community through forums or social media. These online spaces give you a chance to control the pace and the depth of the interactions, allowing you to share your expertise and create connections in ways that feel more authentic. I've seen introverts build thriving online communities that have changed thousands of lives. And the key is to choose a platform that aligns with your communication style and allows you to share your gifts effectively. And so the action item here, is to go explore what platforms there could be where you could share an expertise. It could be a Facebook group, it could be YouTube, podcast, TikTok. Choose one that just feels authentic to you and start planning out what the content is and just start doing it. Being someone who's done YouTube, who's done TikTok, who's grown channels, who's helped other people grow channels, I can tell you that a lot of it, the holdback a lot of people have, is they just overthink and then they don't do it. So just start planning and just start executing and know that you're going to get better at it over time. So the sixth principle is about leveraging an introvert's natural skills and inclinations for research and depth to curate valuable resources for others. Introverts, what I've seen is they often excel at research and organization or deep exploration of a topic. It really gives them the unique ability to, curate whatever value resources that could be helpful to others. So if you enjoy diving into information, learning new things, or exploring a subject deeply, you could use this as a form of giving. You can create curated lists resource pages or reading recommendations that save others so much time and energy while giving them access to these meaningful insights. I found that curating resources is such a powerful way to give. It allows you to share your knowledge and help others while still maintaining a very quiet and focused environment that introverts often prefer. So an action item here is choose a topic that you're passionate about and go create a curated list of top 5 resources that you found that were helpful, and share that list with some people, friends or family or someone in your network, or an online community with people who could benefit from that knowledge. Our 7th principle is focused on using an introvert's natural ability for deep and empathetic and active listening as a powerful tool for impact. Introverts, what I found, often have this gift of active listening at a very deep listening level. And in a world that values quick responses or high energy interactions, quick, fast, everything like that, that's why TikTok is so famous. That's why some of the best performing shows out there for children are things that just pop super quickly. That your ability to actually slow down and truly hear someone is a superpower. And empathetic listening involves more than just hearing the words, but actually understanding what the emotions are behind them that person might be feeling. It's going to create a space where people feel genuinely heard and understood. So your role as being a giver, this deep listening allows you to offer advice, support, insight that truly resonates with others. People, they're going to open up more fully when they feel someone is really listening to them, which leads to stronger, more impactful relationships. I've experienced this power of empathetic listening in my own life, and by truly focusing on understanding others, I've been able to offer deeper insight and support, and been able to make a much more of a significant difference in people's lives than I would have before. And so an action item here is, in your next conversation, practice this deeper, active listening, empathetic listening, and focus entirely on what the person is saying and what's their perspective without thinking about a response. What's the emotion? What's the why behind what they're saying? And afterward, reflect on how this approach maybe impacted or changed the interaction for you. Our final principle that I'm going to cover, so we're only going to do 8 today, is about using creative expression as a way for introverts to make an impact. A lot of the introverts that I know, they can create these rich inner worlds. They have a natural inclination towards creativity. It could be through writing or music or art, another form of, or some other form of creative expression. Introverts can make a significant impact by sharing their creations with the world. Creativity allows you to communicate emotions, ideas, messages in a way that goes so much more beyond words, often touching people more deeply. So you don't need to be physically present to make an impact through creative work. Whether you write a novel, you compose music, you create art, design something that's beautiful, your creative expressions has the potential to inspire and educate others. This form of giving often reaches people on an emotional level, allowing them to experience your gifts in their own way. And by sharing your creativity, you can make a lasting difference without needing to engage in those traditional social environments. I mean, I've seen introverts use their creativity skills to raise awareness for important causes, or provide comfort or inspiration to others, even drive some sort of change or impact, all while staying true to their introverted nature. So the action item here is going to be identify what's your creative talent that you possess. Think about how you could use this talent to create something that addresses an issue you care about or provides value to others, and set a time this week to start working on this project. Now, as is any time that I'm covering these types of ideas, these principles, these solutions that people could go do, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that come up along the way. And so I like to call those out, especially when it comes to applying the GIVER method. So one of the big ones is going to be fear of visibility. Remember that impact doesn't always require being in the spotlight. Focus on the contributions that feel comfortable to you, but make a contribution. One of the other struggles people will have is that energy management. So set boundaries. Schedule recovery time after social engagements. Your ability to give is dependent on your own well-being. If you've engaged with a ton of people, take some time to just download and offload whatever it is that you may be carrying. One of the other ones is this self-promotion of discomfort, like because I'm introverted, I have to be discomfort. Like, you need to reframe those thoughts and know that you can share such valuable information that is going to help others. It's not about you, it's about the value you're creating and the value that you can provide that's so unique to you because of what your unique gifts and superpowers are. And then one of the other ones I see a lot is just idea of just overwhelm in any sort of a group setting. So seek out and create smaller, more intimate group settings, sharing, and share that way, collaborate that way. Quality often trumps quantity when it comes to meaningful interactions. So remember that these challenges, they're completely normal, and the key to approaching them is self-compassion and patience as you go. Because adapting the GIVER method as an introvert isn't about changing who you are, but it's really about leveraging these natural strengths that you have as an introvert to make a meaningful impact in ways that still feel authentic to you. I always tell people, start small. Try one of these action items we discussed. Each day, look for those opportunities to use your introverted superpowers or create value for others. And remember, your gifts, they're unique, especially as you being an introvert. But they're also powerful tools to make a difference. And so you apply this idea of the GIVER method in ways that you can honor your true nature, but also improve your life and create that ripple effect of positive change in your sphere of influence and those around you in your own uniquely introverted way. If you want to dive deeper into this idea of adapting the GIVER method to an introvert, or learn more about the GIVER method and how you can identify your gifts and superpowers and deliver more value to people and receive those relationship riches we talked about, then go to thegivermethod.com. Sign up for our newsletter. We have our book, The GIVER Method. There'll be a link down below that you can sign up for notifications. It's going to be coming out in about a month, and it's going to have amazing impact on a lot of people's lives. So get on the announcement, pre-list so that we can let you know when things are coming out and get you access to maybe some bonus resources that could be there. We also have our services, how we help people one-on-one or in a group setting. And then, of course, we also have how we can, speak on stages, do podcasts. If you know anybody who's looking for someone who can talk on these types of topics, I'm always available for something like that. Sign up for the newsletter, though, because we do provide exclusive tips and insights on leveraging superpowers to make a greater impact. And hey, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you've subscribed and hit the bell for notifications. If you know an introvert who might need to hear this message, share it with them. Let's spread this power to all the introverts so that they can become the best givers that they could be. So until next time, keep growing, keep giving. Remember that your introverted nature is a part of the superpowers you have in itself. Use them wisely. Believe in yourself. I believe in you. The universe and the world is ready for you to step into who it is that you were meant to be and to do it in the way that is appropriate and comfortable for you. But we're waiting for you to do that. So take action on some of these action items. Love to know your thoughts in the comments. We'll catch you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.